of staying power which you feel, not in the grand but in the daily choosing, the ones that make it past the early easy into the territory worth the losing. Sleep for and still deciding yes and present are the ones that have the staying kind of power, not the ones that burn the brightest early, but the ones that hold their warmth beyond the hour. Staying power is the love worth having. Staying power is the one that lasts the test of ordinary time and ordinary living and ordinary morning at its best. I've had the burning bright and have the steady, and know which one has given me the more. The burning bright is beautiful in burning, but the steady is the one worth keeping for. Staying power is the love worth having. Staying power is the one that lasts the test. I choose the steady now above the burning, and find the steady gives me back the best. Of all the things a love can give a person, the warmth that holds beyond the early glow, and all the staying power of the choosing that keeps on going when the burning's low. What I know now feels a different kind of knowing than the knowing that I started with at 20. The early knowing was the confident and certain, and the later knowing is the more and plenty of the uncertain and the probably and maybe, which sounds like less but turns out to be more. The knowing that admits it doesn't fully is the knowing that can walk through any door. What I know now leaves more room for the other. What I know now holds its edges lightly. The ones who know with the absolute conviction are the ones who hold their knowing far too tightly. I've learned to say I think more than I'm certain, and found the I think opens more in conversation than the certain which closes what it touches and leaves no room for the other's observation. What I know now leaves more room for the other. What I know now holds its edges lightly. I offer what I know as what I'm thinking, and find the thinking offered sits more rightly in the space between two people having conversation than the certain which allows no other in, and find the knowing held with lighter fingers. Is the knowing worth the having and the win? I've come full circle, which I didn't plan for. The circular nature of the living that brings you back to what you started near, with all the years between the taking and the giving. The same person standing in the near place, but the one the years have made of the beginning. And the near place isn't quite the place I left, but close enough to feel the full completing. Full circle is not failure, it's the finding of where you started with a better seeing. The ones who come full circle have the distance of the whole circumference of the being. I stood again in something like the beginning, and felt the years between the two standings, and understood the circle and its mercy in bringing back the self to its own landings. Full circle is not failure, it's the finding of where you started with a better seeing. I stood in the full circle and felt grateful for all the circumference of the being that brought me here, with everything the journey had given and had taken on the way, and found the full circle more than just a circle, the whole of everything I am today. each version truer than the previous, with the benefit of the years of dwelling. The first version had more certainty in it, the edges sharp and the verdict already written, and time has softened every sharp conclusion into something more considered and more fitting. Revision is not weakness, it's the growing. Revision is the mind becoming wiser. The ones who never change the storytelling are the ones who never made themselves the riser. From the place where they first landed on the verdict into somewhere higher and more open, and I have risen through the many revisions into something more than the first version spoken. Revision is not weakness, it's the growing. Revision is the mind becoming wiser. I revise the story when the story asks it, and find the latest version always finer. Than the one before it in the telling, more generous and more exact and true, and find the truest version of the story is the one that makes the most of me and you. Season 2 will pass, which I find comfort in. On the days it doesn't feel like passing, the particular weight of the particular weather that feels like it has settled in for lasting. Seasons never last, which is their mercy, and the difficult ones most of all give way eventually to something different, the way the winter always gives to fall. Passing season, do your necessary. Passing season, take what you have come for. The difficult that feels like it is permanent is just the season doing what it's done for. I've been through enough of them to trust it, the season and its eventual departing, and find the trust itself is half the comfort, the knowing of the ending and the starting. Passing season, do your necessary. Passing season, take what you have come for. I stand inside the difficult and wait it, and find the waiting worth it at the core. Of all the patience that the seasons ask for, and all the trust that time has earned from me, and find the passing season passes always, and leaves me in the after feeling free. I arrived at something good without the planning, which is usually how the good things land. Not at the end of the deliberate journey, but sideways and before you understand that you have arrived at what you'd wanted, without the knowing that you'd been in wanting. The good arrival doesn't feel like arrival, just the ordinary morning, and it's haunting. Beauty of the already being somewhere that you would have aimed for had you known it, and looking round and finding you are standing in the life you would have chosen. Could you own it? I arrived here through the unremarkable accumulation of the ordinary days, and found the good was in the unremarkable, and in the ordinary and its ways. I arrived here through the unremarkable accumulation of the ordinary days, and looking round I find I would have chosen exactly this if I had known the ways. Starting and the early, when everything was still the undecided, and finally arriving at the good unplanned, is more than any planned arrival provided. things unfinished which I minded less than I expected in the after. The unfinished has its own completed quality, the open end that doesn't need the chapter. Some things are better left without the closing. The conversation and the half-said feeling, and what I left unfinished between us has done its own particular kind of healing. Unfinished is not broken, it's just open. Unfinished is not failure, it's not done. The ones who leave things open for the other are trusting what the open has begun. I've made my peace with what was left suspended between the words and what the words contained, and found the unfinished more forgiving than any finished ending I have gained. Unfinished is not broken, it's just open. Unfinished is not failure, it's not done. I hold the open end with something gentle, and find the unfinished holds me like the sun that hasn't set yet but is getting lower, and fills the sky with everything it has. Before the dark and in the holding after is more than any finished morning was. We had the wrong timing, which is common among the ones who almost and then didn't. And I have wondered in the particular quiet what the right timing would have and what isn't. The right timing version of the story plays out sometimes in the idle wondering, a version where the circumstances lined up and neither of us left the other floundering. Wrong timing is the kindest of the reasons. Wrong timing leaves the love intact and whole. The love was right and only timing wasn't, which is a gentler story for the soul. I carry the wrong timing without bitterness, which took some years to manage and arrive at, and find the wrong timing is its own completion, a love that was entirely the right fit. Wrong timing is the kindest of the reasons. Wrong timing leaves the love intact and whole. I think of you with a particular warmth of someone loved entirely, right and whole. Just not at the right moment, and that's something I've learned to hold without the usual ache. The timing was the only thing against us, and timing is the one thing we can't make. The tender years were tender, which I know now, in ways I didn't know while I was in them. The tenderness is easier to feel from the outside of the years than from within them. I was too close to the feeling for the seeing of what the tenderness was while it lasted. And only now, with distance, do I find it in the particular quality of the past and all the things that tender years contain. The particular softness of the early, the not yet hardened and the still becoming, the open and the unscarred and the nearly. I would go back for a moment to the tender, not to stay but just to feel the quality of the skin before the weather found it, and the heart before the full reality. I would go back for a moment to the tender, not to stay but just to feel the quality. I carry it inside me still, the tender, beneath the weathered and the full reality. And find it on the mornings that are softer, and in the light that catches something young, and feel the tender years inside the older, and find them still in everything I've sung. forward looks a lot like the beginning of something you've already been through once, and the once makes the beginning less the winning feeling of the new and the first time, and more the wary and the already knowing that forward has its costs the way it always has had its costs in everything, the going. Finding forward is the brave thing always. Finding forward after is the braver. The ones who find the forward after losing are doing more than what the word could savor. I found my forward on a Tuesday morning, without the announcement or the fanfare, just the ordinary Tuesday of the going, and the ordinary forward of the being there. Finding forward is the brave thing always. Finding forward after is the braver. I found mine in the ordinary Tuesday, and found the ordinary forward flavor of the day was more than I had thought it, more solid and more real than the expected. And all the forward I have found since Tuesday has been the ordinary and the well-directed. Hold on lightly now, which took some learning. The grip I had was tighter in the early, and what I held with the conviction that holding hard was how you loved sincerely. But hard-held things resist the being held, and what you grip too tightly loses texture. And I have learned through the considerable losing of things held hard that lightly is the lecture. Holding on lightly is the counterintuitive, the opposite of what the fear would have you. The ones who hold with lightness keep the longer, and find the lightly held stays truer to you. I practice it now daily in the living, the the open hand that holds without the gripping, and find what stays inside the open hand is staying not from pressure but from choosing. Holding on lightly is the counterintuitive, the opposite of what the fear would have you. I hold the people that I love with lightness, and find they stay more fully and more true. And feel the holding lightly as the loving that trusts the staying to the one who stays, and finds the light. Held love is the more lasting and more than worth the learning of its ways. Every story has its last page coming, which is not the tragedy it sounds. The last page is what gives the story meaning and makes the earlier pages worth the rounds of reading and the living and the being inside the story while it was the present. And knowing there's a last page makes the middle more urgent and the ordinary pleasant. Last pages are the ones that hold the most. Last pages are where everything accumulates, the whole of what the story was about arrives inside the last page and its weight. I've read enough of them to know their value, the particular concentration of the ending that makes the whole of what came before it more than what the individual pages were spending. Last pages are the ones that hold the most. Last pages are where everything accumulates. I'm somewhere in the middle of my pages and living them with all the weight it rates of knowing that the last page will be coming, and finding that the knowing makes me stay more present in the middle of the story and more inside the ordinary day. Some loves have staying power which you feel, not in the grand but in the daily choosing, the ones that make it past the early easy into the territory worth the losing. Sleep for and still deciding yes and present are the ones that have the staying kind of power, not the ones that burn the brightest early, but the ones that hold their warmth beyond the hour. Staying power is the love worth having. Staying power is the one that lasts the test of ordinary time and ordinary living and ordinary morning at its best. I've had the burning bright and have the steady, and know which one has given me the more. The burning bright is beautiful in burning, but the steady is the one worth keeping for. Staying power is the love worth having. Staying power is the one that lasts the test. I choose the steady now above the burning, and find the steady gives me back the best. Of all the things a love can give a person, the warmth that holds beyond the early glow, and all the staying power of the choosing that keeps on going when the burning's low. What I know now feels a different kind of knowing than the knowing that I started with at 20. The early knowing was the confident and certain, and the later knowing is the more and plenty of the uncertain and the probably and maybe, which sounds like less but turns out to be more. The knowing that admits it doesn't fully is the knowing that can walk through any door. What I know now leaves more room for the other. What I know now holds its edges lightly. The ones who know with the absolute conviction are the ones who hold their knowing far too tightly. I've learned to say I think more than I'm certain, profoundly, I think, opens more in conversation than the certain which closes what it touches and leaves no room for the other's observation. What I know now leaves more room for the other. What I know now holds its edges lightly. I offer what I know as what I'm thinking, and find the thinking offered sits more rightly in the space between two people having conversation, than the certain which allows no other in, and find the knowing held with lighter fingers. Is the knowing worth the having and the win? I've come full circle, which I didn't plan for. The circular nature of the living that brings you back to what you started near, with all the years between the taking and the giving. The same person standing in the near place, but the one the years have made of the beginning. And the near place isn't quite the place I left, but close enough to feel the full completing. Full circle is not failure, it's the finding of where you started with a better seeing. The ones who come full circle have the distance of the whole circumference of the being. I stood again in something like the beginning, and felt the years between the two standings, and understood the circle and its mercy in bringing back the self to its own landings. Full circle is not failure, it's the finding of where you started with a better seeing. I stood in the full circle and felt grateful for all the circumference of the being that brought me here, with everything the journey had given and had taken on the way, and found the full circle more than just a circle, the whole of everything I am today. once across the years of telling, and find each version truer than the previous, with the benefit of the years of dwelling. The first version had more certainty in it, the edges sharp and the verdict already written, and time has softened every sharp conclusion into something more considered and more fitting. Revision is not weakness, it's the growing. Revision is the mind becoming wiser. The ones who never change the storytelling are the ones who never made themselves the riser. From the place where they first landed on the verdict into somewhere higher and more open, and I have risen through the many revisions into something more than the first version spoken. Revision is not weakness, it's the growing. Revision is the mind becoming wiser. I revise the story when the story asks it, and find the latest version always finer. Than the one before it in the telling, more generous and more exact and true, and find the truest version of the story is the one that makes the most of me and you. This season too will pass, which I find comfort in. On the days it doesn't feel like passing, the particular weight of the particular weather that feels like it has settled in for lasting. But seasons never last, which is their mercy, and the difficult ones most of all give way eventually to something different, the way the winter always gives to fall. Passing season, do your necessary. Passing season, take what you have come for. The difficult that feels like it is permanent is just the season doing what it's done for. I've been through enough of them to trust it, the season and its eventual departing, and find the trust itself is half the comfort, the knowing of the end ending and the starting. Passing season, do your necessary. Passing season, take what you have come for. I stand inside the difficult and wait it, and find the waiting worth it at the core. Of all the patience that the seasons ask for, and all the trust that time has earned from me, and find the passing season passes always, and leaves me in the after feeling free. I arrived at something good without the planning, which is usually how the good things land. Not at the end of the deliberate journey, but sideways and before you understand that you have arrived at what you'd wanted, without the knowing that you'd been in wanting. The good arrival doesn't feel like arrival, just the ordinary morning, and it's haunting. Beauty of the already being somewhere that you would have aimed for had you known it, and looking round and finding you are standing in the life you would have chosen. Could you own it? I arrived here through the unremarkable accumulation of the ordinary days, and found the good was in the unremarkable, and in the ordinary and its ways. I arrived here through the unremarkable accumulation of the ordinary days, and looking round I find I would have chosen exactly this if I had known the ways. The starting and the early, when everything was still the undecided, and finally arriving at the good unplanned, is more than any planned arrival provided. which I minded less than I expected in the after. The unfinished has its own completed quality, the open end that doesn't need the chapter. Some things are better left without the closing, the conversation and the half-said feeling, and what I left unfinished between us has done its own particular kind of healing. Unfinished is not broken, it's just open. Unfinished is not failure, it's not done. The ones who leave things open for the other are trusting what the open has begun. I've made my peace with what was left suspended between the words and what the words contained, and found the unfinished more forgiving than any finished ending I have gained. Unfinished is not broken, it's just open. Unfinished is not failure, it's not done. I hold the open end with something gentle, and find the unfinished holds me like the sun that hasn't set yet but is getting lower, and fills the sky with everything it has. Before the dark and in the holding after is more than any finished morning was. We had the wrong timing, which is common among the ones who almost and then didn't. And I have wondered in the particular quiet what the right timing would have and what isn't. The right timing version of the story plays out sometimes in the idle wondering, a version where the circumstances lined up and neither of us left the other floundering. Wrong timing is the kindest of the reasons. Wrong timing leaves the love intact and whole. The love was right and only timing wasn't, which is a gentler story for the soul. I carry the wrong timing without bitterness, which took some years to manage and arrive at, and find the wrong timing is its own completion, a love that was entirely the right fit. Wrong timing is the kindest of the reasons. Wrong timing leaves the love intact and whole. I think of you with a particular warmth of someone loved entirely, right and whole. Just not at the right moment, and that's something I've learned to hold without the usual ache. The timing was the only thing against us, and timing is the one thing we can't make. The tender years were tender, which I know now, in ways I didn't know while I was in them. The tenderness is easier to feel from the outside of the years than from within them. I was too close to the feeling for the seeing of what the tenderness was while it lasted. And only now, with distance, do I find it in the particular quality of the past and all the things that tender years contain. The particular softness of the early, the not yet hardened and the still becoming, the open and the unscarred and the nearly. I would go back for a moment to the tender, not to stay but just to feel the quality of the skin before the weather found it, and the heart before the full reality. I would go back for a moment to the tender, not to stay but just to feel the quality. I carry it inside me still, the tender, beneath the weathered and the full reality. And find it on the mornings that are softer, and in the light that catches something young, and feel the tender years inside the older, and find them still in everything I've sung. Finding forward after isn't easy. The forward looks a lot like the beginning of something you've already been through once, and the once makes the beginning less the winning. Feeling of the new and the first time, and more the wary and the already knowing that forward has its costs the way it always has had its costs in everything, the going. Finding forward is the brave thing always. Finding forward after is the braver. The ones who find the forward after losing are doing more than what the word could savor. I found my forward on a Tuesday morning, without the announcement or the fanfare. Just the ordinary Tuesday of the going, and the ordinary forward of the being there. Finding forward is the brave thing always. Finding forward after is the braver. I found mine in the ordinary Tuesday, and found the ordinary forward flavor of the day was more than I had thought it, more solid and more real than the expected. And all the forward I have found since Tuesday has been the ordinary and the well-directed. Hold on lightly now, which took some learning. The grip I had was tighter in the early, and what I held with the conviction that holding hard was how you loved sincerely. But hard-held things resist the being held, and what you grip too tightly loses texture. And I have learned through the considerable losing of things held hard that lightly is the lecture. Holding on lightly is the counterintuitive, the opposite of what the fear would have you. The ones who hold with lightness keep the longer, and find the lightly held stays truer to you. I practice it now daily in the living. The open hand that holds without the gripping, and find what stays inside the open hand is staying not from pressure but from choosing. Holding on lightly is the counterintuitive, the opposite of what the fear would have you. I hold the people that I love with lightness, and find they stay more fully and more true. And feel the holding lightly as the loving that trusts the staying to the one who stays, and finds the light held. Love is the more lasting and more than worth the learning of its ways. Every story has its last page coming, which is not the tragedy it sounds. The last page is what gives the story meaning and makes the earlier pages worth the rounds of reading and the living and the being inside the story while it was the present. And knowing there's a last page makes the middle more urgent and the ordinary pleasant. Last pages are the ones that hold the most. Last pages are where everything accumulates, the whole of what the story was about arrives inside the last page, and its weight. I've read enough of them to know their value, the particular concentration of the ending that makes the whole of what came before it more than what the individual pages were spending. Last pages are the ones that hold the most. Last pages are where everything accumulates. I'm somewhere in the middle of my pages and living them with all the weight it rates of knowing that the last page will be coming, and finding that the knowing makes me stay more present in the middle of the story and more inside the ordinary.